I'm Renee Knorr, model, creative director, founder of Global Women Wealth Warriors, Wellness Hub, and GW3 Magazine. I dedicated my life and devoted my career into helping women and girls to achieving their goals. I've been passionate about empowering women and enriching men. This opportunity in working with the Global Women Wealth Warriors have afforded me the pleasure of traveling outside of the country to be a support unit, most importantly, to help impact and change lives. Our ultimate purpose is to help others to become whole from finance, spiritual, mental, as well as physical. We know there are challenges and obstacles to get you to the next level. However, it's time for you to level up, boss up, and welcome to Power to Soar. And we are back for those conversations before the power. I'm grateful to be Ambassador Dr. Renee Knorr and so excited for how we're preparing ourselves for this 2026 Power to Soar Leadership Conference right there in Las Vegas. Well, today, not only am I grateful that we have an opportunity of speaking with another giant right there in Las Vegas, Mr. Chris, he has been an incredible leader, not only just in the foster care community, but I will say this, he's been an incredible leader throughout the entire world. And I'm grateful to have Chris here. Chris, it's been like we've been knowing each other forever, thanks to our very own Miss Constance. But I just want to say I'm excited to have you here with us this morning. Not only are you grateful to be passionate in this nonprofit industry, but you've been able to do some remarkable things and give us an opportunity to not only honor you for this year, Chris, Mr. Duhrkoop, but also you're the founder and the executive director of Share in the Joy right there in Las Vegas. You've dedicated your entire work to bringing joy and resources and supporting the opportunity to instill humanity. And what a joy to have you here with us this morning. How are you doing today?
Well, good morning, Dr. Nora. I'm doing very well, thank you. And it's a pleasure to be on your show. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation about what we're doing. We're doing some really good things.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, first I want to say, I want you to introduce yourself to the viewers. That's always, I love doing that, right? But I want to say, not only am I excited about your energy, it's wonderful how we're bringing all of this great synergy together. So if you don't mind, please share with everyone who you are, a little bit more about your organization as well.
Certainly, my name's Chris Duhrkoop. I'm the executive director and founder of Share in the Joy. It's a local nonprofit here in Las Vegas. We work with children. We work with children who have been affected by trauma. Primarily, a lot of our work centers around the foster community. We work with children who've been exposed to domestic violence. We work with children whose families are facing housing insecurity. We work with these kids in a way that's a little bit different. we certainly provide some resources and connect them with organizations that can help them out. But more than that, we focus on the healing from within. We believe that we've got everybody knows about our five senses. Well, science has identified the eighth sense, which is interoception. Interoception is how we process what's going on inside of us, whether we're hungry, whether we're sad, where we're starting to feel anxious. When trauma is introduced in a child's life, that balance inside of them is disrupted. They have trouble processing what's going on inside of them, everything from bodily functions to feelings. And so through reciprocity and connection, we work to restore that balance and heal the child from within.
So powerful, healing from within. I'm going to put a heart up because that is that heart posture that we have to have, right, Chris? Especially when we understand our purpose and intentionality. And I want to say congratulations to you. Not only being able to embrace your season of intentions, but really doing what you were called to do. You're living in your gifts. And I want everyone to know a little bit more about Chris because we see this fabulous title, right? We understand that you have had this heart posture for people, but tell us a little bit beyond the titles. Who is Chris? We love to know who you are, Chris. Your experiences in your life has really shaped not only you as the man of servitude, the servant leader for today, but really, who are you? Father, come on now.
It's a loaded
Yeah.
question. Let's see.
Look how you did it. You came all in. I love it. Yes.
I am I'm a single dad living here in Las Vegas. I've got 13-year-old twins at home with me full time. And when I was 13 years old, I was removed from my family. I was placed in foster care. I went to four different high schools my freshman year. I lived on the streets for about 2 months. I didn't have it nearly as bad as some of these kids were working with, but I understand the importance of consistency, the importance of stability, and I think that that's really shaped me and who I am. That experience, that period in my life when there was so much uncertainty, the feeling of not being wanted, not being seen, not being understood, bouncing from placement to placement, and it just it's really lit a fire in my heart for the kids we're working with today. And I didn't really talk about my past or that period of my past ever up until about a year ago when someone really challenged me on it. It was my aunt who I ended up living with in high school, and she took me in at the tail end of everything. And we're talking about the work we're doing at the nonprofit, and she says, "Well, you know why, right?" And I was like, "Well, no, it's the right thing to do." And she's, "Chris, you lived what these kids have lived through," and she reminded me that that period of my life wasn't normal. While it was just something I went through and something I just accepted because that was my life. Looking back and reflecting in that moment and really seeing that that's not a normal thing for a child to go through, a 13-year-old freshman in high school to go through. Um, and it really kind of brought everything together in a way that I hadn't connected before. And so that's me in a nutshell. I had a childhood that, before that I thought was very good. I had parents that loved me. um, we did all the things that families do until they got into drugs, and their life kind of went sideways. After that, I had a period of trauma that was stabilized by a loving family member that stepped in and took me into their home, gave me stability and support. And then I've been a flight attendant for Southwest for 19 years now. And I moved to Las Vegas back in 2007. Um, started I had my twins 13 years ago. It changed my life, and I've got them full time with me now, and it's the three of us just doing what we can and grinding every day. And school just started, so they're real excited about that, and um, it's a good life. I'm very
Yeah.
blessed.
You are, and that's the heart and soul right there. Being able to have the experience that you have. And I want to say thank you for sharing, that side of you, because that's really the connector. I understand now even more so the name of your organization. Whenever anyone starts off with something that says, "Let me share something with you," and that right there, it opens up doors. And not only has it been able to open up doors, I'm sure, but it's been able to connect people with where they are, because a lot of people probably feel as if they don't have a place. And what you have done, you have created this safe haven because you too have experienced it personally. So I asked this question to you because, my goodness, the name Share in the Joy. So powerful. It's so powerful and intentional just by putting joy into the center of the community, even right in the community service of what you do. And I want you all to also share with us, what does joy mean to you personally?
Oh, I'll tell you what, we when we so about 5 years ago, I didn't have my kids for Christmas for the very first time. And so I reached out to my friend who's a professional Santa, and I always hire him to come Christmas Eve. Christmas is a big deal at the house. And I said, Eric, I'm still going to hire you, but it's not going to be from my house. I'm going to have you come to it. I want you to go to a foster family's house. He said, well, if you do that, I'm not going to be able to charge you. He's like, no, it's the most expensive night of the year. Of course, you're going to charge. We settled on doing a Christmas party, Christmas event for youth in foster care, for like several families. We connected with St. Jude's Ranch out in Boulder City. We ended up having a Christmas event for 34 kids that year. And it was prior to starting the nonprofit. I asked, well, Sharon, St. Jude's Ranch asked if I would come back the next year and do it for all their kids. And I said, well, of course. Well, how many kids are we talking? She said, well, we've got about 200 across the valley. So that's when I started the nonprofit Sharing the Joy. And the name for the nonprofit, my aunt and I had actually, we were talking about that Christmas event. What are we gonna name this event? We're talking about all these different names that that would identify this Christmas event that we're having for these kids. And my daughter's middle name is Joy, Ella Joy. And so we settled on the name Share the Joy. And then when it came time, so that was the Christmas event, that first one. When it came time to name the nonprofit, that name was taken. And I was like, well, you know what? Share in the joy. Um, because after that first event, when our volunteers, when the community partners came in and they truly shared in what we were doing and the joy we were bringing to these kids, it just made sense. And the name is natural. It feels good. It really describes what we do. Every single program that we have is rooted in joy. It's got joy in its name. Everything from empowering joy to furnishing joy to fostering joy to the joy of father figurehood. So it's really the centerpiece of who we are and what we do, and we really try to bring joy to the children we work with through our events and our programs that focus on connection and reciprocity.
You should be awarded with the Ambassador of Joy. I'm already saying it for you.
Oh God. Mm,
Oh my goodness, that was so touching. And I'm so happy to hear that you and your auntie, your, family are doing it together. That
mm,
makes it so much even better, right? Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Uh, when you think about Las Vegas, Chris, of course, all the time we think about it like what? The fast lights alongside with millions of people everywhere, even in the heat. Because I understand you guys are in three digits out there right now, right?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. We also think about the hotels alongside the entertainment industry. My goodness. But right now, I'm looking at your work. With what you've been able to do, Chris, you're like not only a person that's helping people to identify who they are, but I like to say you're giving people a reason to call Las Vegas home because of your work. And we want to say thank you. I asked this question: what is something about the Las Vegas community that the rest of the world doesn't even see?
Hmm. I think that I think you nailed it when you use the word community.
Mhm.
People think of Las Vegas and they think the lights, the glam, the shows, all of that. They think about, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, that tagline. But when you think about the support that we've received as a nonprofit from the community, from our community partners, from the businesses we work with to the volunteers we have that come in and support the events that we put on, that sense of community is so strong here. There's a sense of pride with the people that live here, in really taking care of the kids, and especially these kids in foster care, especially these kids that are experiencing trauma. We we had oh my gosh, we just had school start. We did four different back to school events that Sharon the Joy was involved with, and every single one of them was more incredible than the last one. And it was because of the people who showed up, the volunteers who came in and gave their time and really cared about these kids getting their school year started off on the right foot. And you see that time and again. If we have an ask, we ask, and it's answered. When we have a need for volunteers, we have volunteers that step up and do it happily, joyfully, because they see the impact we're having on these kids.
And I'll say this: just having the conversations with yourself alongside with Constance, as well as others, even Mr. Trenton. We are interviewed Dr. I'm so sorry, Avis. You get an opportunity of meeting her. I'm hearing
Mhm.
that also the community, being there for each other. Skip Martin, Dr. Skip Martin. It's like I'm just falling in love with, with the whole energy of Las Vegas for all the greater reasons. And I just want you to know that because I'm very passionate. We are a passionate organization. One thing we pride ourselves on, and it sounds like you're saying with you, is that leadership isn't just simply about, the high of how you continue on rising. It's always about who you are pouring into, the responsibilities and even the opportunities. They help others to rise up and to think better about themselves. And I think not only you've been able to really embrace your legacy, but I'll ask this question to you as well. What do those words mean to you? Not only leadership, legacy, but also how you've been able to move people from just simply talking about community impact to actually rolling up your sleeves. Now, come on now, Chris,
Mhm.
rolling those sleeves up and becoming more part of the solution.
Hmm. I'll tell you what, Dr. Knorr,
Yes.
I'm just a man. I'm just a person. I'm one person. I'm a dad trying to set a good example for his kids. Um, I'm someone who can relate to some of these things that these kids are going through. But when God puts something in my heart and he puts me on a path, I've learned to just trust it. In the last 3 years, the paths he's put me on, I get this idea. I get this idea or this calling, and it's like, well, I don't know how we're going to pay for it, or I don't know how we're going to accomplish this, but I trust, and I start walking the path one foot in front of the other, and he brings people into my life and we make it happen, and beautiful things are happening. Some amazing things are happening. And when we started looking at the science behind the trauma and what the trauma disrupts inside of these kids, that's when the real impact started being seen. So often, And Clark County does a really good job. Our family services division does such a good job with providing these kids with resources that they need, from therapy to tutoring to they make sure that every child in foster care stays at their home school, just so they have that kind of consistency. They provide clothing, food. They're working really hard to get foster families. Clark County does a really good job of providing services for these kids. But we run the risk of teaching these kids that just because something bad happened to you, now you're someone who needs something given to them in order to survive. And I don't think that's the right message. I think we need to balance that with giving these kids a sense of pride in giving and giving back. Our holiday party, we had 466 kids last year. And when the kids come in, we pair them with a personal shopper, and we don't give them gifts for themselves. We ask them, who are the important people in your lives? And we get answers from the bio parents, the brothers, sisters, best friends, CASA volunteer. And we allow the kids, so we write them all down. We allow the kids to choose gifts for these people who are important in their lives. We wrap them up, we help the kids wrap them, and when they leave they have gifts to give. And I think that that is really important, because Christmas isn't about what you get, it's truly about what you give. And when you're in it, when you're a child who's facing trauma and you're in survival mode, you're not thinking about what can I give others, you're thinking about how do I survive. So we give kids an opportunity to give, to experience the giving, the magic, the true magic of the holiday season. And that's, I think, what separates us a little bit from other organizations, because not that other organizations don't do that, but we truly focus on how can we connect these kids to the community through community service projects, get them to get involved in the community and give back. How can we connect them to others and giving, understanding what they have inside of them to give, to build their confidence and let them know that they are a part of society. They do have something worthwhile of giving, and they don't need something given to them in order to survive. They have it inside of them, and we just try to help them unlock it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Beautifully said. One of the things we were talking about, like you said, it just takes that
Mm.
one step at a time to just keep moving forward. Chris, before we come into Las Vegas, I gave us a 21-day of rebuilding ourselves. And many want to count the steps. It's just taking one step forward and having the faith. And when you have that faith, you can open up any door. I love your message. I love what you just said. And then giving those youth that ability to understand what giving really is all about. Well, you know what they say, in a few days, Chris, we will gather together right there in Las Vegas for the Power to Soar. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. As I was sharing with you, I'm meeting you all for like the very first time. I can't wait to give my big hugs. Oh my goodness, I'm a hugger coming from New Orleans. But one of the things also, and as we're elevating you all, it's not even something that we look for, right? This is just the work that we do. It doesn't matter
Mm.
if we are recognized or not, because this is who we are. And that's why I love your heart posture. But I'll say this, the conversation is, conversation before the power. And it's that way for a reason. So not only we're here to help others to get an opportunity to get to know you more and to get to know you better, but also before you walk into the room, you know, as we celebrate you, Chris Duhrkoop, no, Duhrkoop, I said it right, Duhrkoop. I want to ask this question to you, with your journey. I know it has taught you so much about your purpose and even perseverance, because you share with us just sometimes you don't even understand where everything is coming from. But when your heart posture and your faith posture is in alignment with God, all doors can open up. All of them can. And you've just made such an incredible impact. And we just want to say thank you again, not only the impact of those lives, but also the lives that you probably haven't even touched yet, right? Because of the works that you've been able to do, you can pass that on to others. So I asked this last question for you. As you've been able to look back over everything that you've built, what do you hope people will say about Chris and what he was able to do in giving to this world?
Hmm. I'm I think I'm going to start with my kids
Yes.
because I think that leading by example, I tell them things. You, it's that Maya Angelou quote where she talks about people not necessarily remembering what you say or what you do, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And it's something that my kids can quote back to you. I've said it to them so many times, and I think that um, when I address my volunteers, when we all gather right before an event, I tell them it doesn't matter what decision you make for this child that's coming in. We tell them, okay, here are the guidelines, here's what we have going on. But if you make a decision that you feel is in the best interest of the child, it's going to be the right decision. And it may not be, fall into the rules or whatever, but it's just make the right decision for someone else. Change their life in a way that's going to leave them better than when they came in. And it's going to be the right decision. It's going to be the right thing to do. And I just want to empower the people that we work with, whether it's a volunteer, whether it's one of our primary people on our board, just to make those decisions. Because when you do that and you do that consistently, people are going to see it and they're going to do that for themselves as well. And I think it's so important. We're all connected. We're all so connected. And when we understand that, then I think that it empowers us to give more of ourselves. Because the more we give of ourselves to others and to lift them up, we all get raised up. It raises us up in doing that.
Oh, Chris, thank you. Not only am I saying thank you for now, but thank you for even your future self as you continue on advancing and supporting all of those youth leaders. This is exactly why we have these conversations before the power. We wouldn't probably been able to pull all of this out of you with everything moving, the day up, right? Oh my goodness.
Mm,
But now people get an opportunity to feel you, and I'm so thankful that they'll get that opportunity. So, because of not only being honored that award, but I'll say this as well, the award may recognize a moment, but legacy tells us what it took to get there. And I just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to have the reflection of where you came from, also being able to be in the now with us. And you've even had to reset, but we always like to say the reward is on the other side. And we're looking so forward to not only honoring you, I'm looking forward to holding you, squeezing you, and also celebrating you because this is going to be something so remarkable right there in Las Vegas as one of our Power to Soar 2026 Icon Award honorees. Thank you so much, Chris. And, I have this closing. This is important for us all. And if you like to, before we close out, I want you to provide our viewers just with few words of, in I would say, few words of just wisdom because just speaking to you is just amazing. But words of wisdom that you can pour in to those that are listening today. And please make sure they know how to get in contact with you.
okay. Challenge accepted. I've got something for you. And it's something that's been heavy on my heart. It's something that's really inspired me and driven me, especially recently. But I would challenge your viewers. I would challenge anybody. Think about a social issue that you're passionate about, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's homelessness, drug addiction, child sex trafficking, food insecurity. If one of those things matter to you, then you care about a child in foster care because these are the reasons these children are removed from their homes. If you want to make a difference in one of those areas, you can start by becoming a CASA volunteer, by opening your home and fostering, by looking at adoption, by helping these children, by mentoring these children, Boys and Girls Club, so many organizations, so many different ways to help these children in care. And if you care about one of those social issues, foster care is ground zero for that. And I would just challenge you to see that and then do something about it.
I accept that challenge as well. Okay, we both accept that challenge. One of the things I would encourage everyone, Nelson Mandela, when he turned 67, Chris, he challenged us to 67 minutes a day to show acts of kindness.
Mm,
67 minutes a day to support or reach out and make a phone call to someone. 67 minutes a day just to really show others that we care. So I will accept your challenge and we will be together in Las Vegas. I'll be flying in on tomorrow, coming looking for my hug. I just want you to know.
you got it.
I got it. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, guys, I'm excited. One of the greatest opportunities that we will be joining not only this incredible leader that's supporting foster care, but also many others right there for this August the 15th through the 16th. Power to Soar Leadership Conference in Las Vegas. Not only we invite you to come to meet this incredible leader, but truly pour back into his organization as well. Come and experience the opportunity of not only the fashion leadership, the legacy, as well as the community, but most importantly, come prepared to ask questions. Why am I doing? And what am I doing here? Not only with power, but how can I support these leaders who are taking not only their life, their communities, they're in control of transforming lives, but what can I do to support them? Chris, if you don't mind, make sure everybody know how to get in contact with you with your website information as well before we close out today.
Yeah, our website is shareinthejoy.org. Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is Sharing the Joy LV. Facebook's Sharing the Joy. We'd love to hear from you. We have a YouTube channel that's got some great content on it. Yeah,
Wonderful.
Share in the Joy.
Share in the joy. And that's what we're going to be doing, sharing in the joy this weekend. I'm Ambassador Dr. Renee Knorr. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to be able to bring these conversations before the power to you. Real conversations, real impact, and real power. And always remember this, before the power, there is purpose. And when purpose meets action, we create the power to soar. We look forward to
Mm,
seeing you guys on the other side of your greatness. Until then, bye for now.
yeah.
It's such a great honor to be able to raise funds for Living Beyond Breast Cancer organization.
Yes, thank you, Renee, very much for helping us to organize this event. It's for a beautiful cause, and it's always our pleasure to help people.